Hopefully things are going well for you guys. As for me, I do most certainly have a very hectic and busy schedule going on, so here I am in commentary mode. Roll that intro.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
So let's go ahead and talk about what on earth is going on. Wait a minute. Okay, hold up. I'm looking at my to-do list right now. I have one more modern game review to go. Now, very lately, we've been noticing some questionable situations that's been going on with our video game remakes and remasters. So how about I go ahead and talk about a remake that was made by the fans, for the fans, and was given the blessing by the official developers. That's right, we're talking about Black Mesa, a fan-made remake of Half-Life 1. Well, let's all be honest here, since the release of Half-Life Source, and this is long before that big epic remaster that we got last year, back in 2023. But anyway, I figured let's go ahead and get this out the way. Everybody didn't take a liking to Half-Life Source, which is actually more rather a port to the Source engine rather than a remaster when it came to that. And I think ever since then, people are all like, okay, is there a way we can handle this better? And keep in mind, this is long before we got the Night Dive at Home remaster. Somebody was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take matters in my own hands, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then here you go. There's Black Mesa, this fan-made remake of Half-Life 1. But here's how things work when it comes to Black Mesa. Black Mesa, everything you know about Half-Life 1 is definitely going to be there, okay? However, they do want to go ahead and have some areas that could have been handled better, made sure that they're handled better. That's for starters. However, I also do want to go ahead and say that when it does its new things, it's you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pick a wise enough time to do this one thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut myself. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to the new stuff that Black Mesa does, it's great. But they just want to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pick the right time to do this new thing. And when it comes to the intros segment, it's handled differently, but absolutely handled differently to a point where it just adds more intensity to the game. This is one example of, okay, Black Mesa doing something new, and it's like, okay, I dig that. I really dig that. But however, I will go ahead and say that everything that you know about Half-Life 1 is going to be there in Black Mesa, and expect some new interesting additions and twists in certain times where the game believes it's very wise enough to do so. Even though when it comes to the new stuff that happens in Black Mesa, it's very impressive, I will say that. But anyway, for those who haven't played Half-Life 1, I'll go ahead and recap the story to you without getting into spoiler territory. You play as the infamous Gordon Freeman, a silent protagonist who is a scientist at Black Mesa. However, on this big epic work day where it's about to be a revolutionary experiment, this so-called experiment has gone horribly wrong, and it ends up leading into a resonance cascade that has caused destructive havoc across Black Mesa and summoned outworldly entities. So not only are you dealing with an invasion from a hostile series of alien life forms, but now you have the military being ordered to kill everybody on site, especially every survivor. So now you have to defend yourself against the hostile extraterrestrial threat, alongside having to basically defend yourself against the military. And that basically ends up recapping the story of Half-Life 1. When it comes to the redesigns throughout Black Mesa, it's impressive to say the least. The Black Mesa facility is very impressive with new additions made to it. As a matter of fact, if somebody were to be hired to rebuild Black Mesa, I think whoever did the level design for Black Mesa should definitely be hired to do the building and planning out the stuff.
Construction!
But not only that, expect some redesigned versions of weapons that are just handled so much more better than ever. I will go ahead and say, oh man, don't even get me started on the sound presentation. I am impressed too. You will still get your plenty when it comes to the arsenal of weapons when it comes to Half-Life 1. I won't go into any additional details because spoiler stuff, but boy, it just goes from pistols to machine guns to magnum revolvers, to shotguns. You get a rocket launcher. Oh, hey, there's a crossbow for sniping and taking out targets, but then you get to the very interesting sci-fi-ish weapons, and it gets very wild. I will go ahead and say that. Oh, and I almost forgot, you start off the game with a crowbar. And for the speedrunners, you're going to like this one. There is the sprint button that is made available. Yes, Gordon Freeman can sprint. Oh, and that saying goes to you too, regular players. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the issue that I do have with the game. Having to Alt-Tab then exit the game when it comes to changing resolutions of the game. I don't know why it does that. It's ridiculous to say the least. But they did do some new thing. I'm going to go ahead and check real quick. They did add some extra DirectX options, which kind of includes like DirectX 11 UI shenanigans going on. So that totally said, I do see that getting resolved, more likely the case. I will go ahead and say that most of the time throughout Black Mesa, I'm not bitching. It is very and very faithful to the source material. So like I said, everything you know about Half-Life 1 is already there, plus some new additional stuff and some quality of life additions and improvements from left to right. And like I said, for a fan-made remake, credit where credit's due, it does a great job with the heavily redesigned areas. And I will go ahead and say, whoever put the levels together in terms of level design, okay, somebody should hire you for construction, okay? I will go ahead and say that. But, however, there is more variety when it comes to the models, especially the scientists. And there has been amazing sound presentation throughout. And I will go ahead and say it does feel really unique and familiar at the same time. And I will go ahead and say about how Black Mesa looks amazing. This is thanks to the amazing graphics, including the great design, especially the level design. It's very impressive, to say the least. I will go ahead and say it is really faithful. It is made for the fans, by the fans, and boy oh boy, the fans do know how to put out a really, really good remake. So to conclude things, I will go ahead and say that Black Mesa is an absolutely amazing and faithful recreation of Half-Life. The Crowbar Collective did the best job ever, and I am really, really impressed. Actually, understatement, more than impressed. Now, do I recommend this? Absolutely recommendable. Even if you've played through Half-Life 1, it is absolutely recommendable. Now, that's all I gotta say on Black Mesa. I gotta keep right on going to some other things in my hectic schedule, and with that totally said, that's all, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.